Ladies and gentlemen, members of Congress, distinguished guests, it's my distinct honor to welcome you all to the United States Capitol. We're so glad you're here on such a beautiful day. Since the time of the American Revolution, Congress has conferred the Congressional Gold Medal to express our national appreciation. It is the highest honor that we can bestow in this institution. It honors citizens whose contributions have shaped our country, enriched our history, and lifted the spirits of the American people. And much like the American dream itself, this honor is not reserved for any one person or profession. It can be earned and won by anyone who is deserving. Today, pursuant to S. 1404, we gather to present the Congressional Gold Medal to Greg LeMond for serving his country as a model of sportsmanship, excellence, and integrity. Most of us probably remember our first taste of freedom as kids while riding our bikes. And then, of course, our first rude awakening when the pavement reminded us we weren't invincible. Greg's journey, his triumph in the world's greatest cycling race, teaches us that it's not whether or not we fall, but whether we get back on that bike and keep riding. But before Greg ever set eyes on the French Alps, this Western kid from the Sierras made his bones up and down the rugged terrain of Lake Tahoe. Years of high-altitude rides built endurance and discipline and developed a deep love for cycling that would mean more than any amount of fame or fortune that would follow. In 1986, after becoming the first American to win the Tour de France, Greg suffered a near-fatal hunting accident in California. The road to recovery was long and painstaking and arduous. Getting back on the bike would prove the most formidable challenge yet. When he returned to the Tour de France in 1989, the reporters and the commentators agreed that Greg needed a miracle. Days of cat and mouse up against the world's best cyclist culminated in one of the most breathtaking comebacks in all of sports history. Greg took home the yellow jersey in 1989 and would go on to win cycling's most coveted prize again for a third time in 1990, the year I graduated high school. I remember it well. Today, his 8-second finish remains the slimmest margin of victory the race has ever seen. For Americans watching at home, the thrill of an American triumph in a race dominated by Europeans was unmatched. And for the Europeans watching it from home and out their windows, a fear of dread had begun to set in. At last, the Americans had arrived. The LeMond years stirred something deep in American cycling community, and his improbable victory charted a path of future enthusiasts to grow and expand the sport. Greg personified the no-ego, never-quit spirit that distinguishes America's great athletes. He taught us that the pain, the struggle, the grueling hours in the saddle, it's all temporary, but quitting lasts a lifetime. Today, we celebrate that hugely important feat and a legacy that transcends far beyond the road. Throughout his life, Greg has put his talent and success to good use, speaking up for children and our military veterans, for fairness in the sport, and for the next generation of cyclists. But as Greg will tell you, no race gets easier, and no great victory is won all alone. Behind every champion stands a strong and faithful support system. For Greg, that begins with his beloved wife, Kathy. So we offer Kathy, the LeMond family, and all Greg's loved ones here today our deepest thanks. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. We hope you enjoy the ceremony.